Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. We got a hot episode of Pan Capitalist that just dropped today.
Tim did walk in with some swag today.
Did he? Yeah, because he's probably got a whole week of fame, you know?
He's just oozing of fame.
Oozing of capitalism.
Yeah.
Not quite. Okay, so excited to listen. Would you say, was there if you had a winner, is there a winner?
Yeah,
or is that?
Yeah, it'd be me.
Wow. Come swinging.
So I've listened to half, and we haven't gotten to where we argue. It was more just talking about me and kind of understanding Tim's background. But Tim claimed he was a unanimous winner, so let's see.
Wow. Okay, so the argument's at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, there it is. Well, listen, good news, guys. CDC officially said it's all good. The CDC actually recommended we go to EDC. So we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. We'll take the mask off. Future was right. Load it up. Let's get into the episode. Who's ready?
Me.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Mask on. Fuck it, mask off.
Wow, aggressive.
Jesus.
Sorry, I got excited. Listen, CDC, the least trustworthy organization since Enron, has said we no longer need to wear masks at outdoor gatherings or during exercise. Come
That's
on.
what we like to hear. Come on, guys.
That is big.
I believe in the CDC.
So, I mean, for them to say that pretty much is signaling that it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, infection rates have fallen off a cliff. So we're trending still in the right direction, even though I kind of had my spidey sense on the last episode because of what's going on in the world. But here in the U.S., we are in a decent place. And we talked about in the last episode that mask outdoor, if you're vaccinated, even indoor, if you have masks on, you don't really need to.
Yeah.
But the problem is you have Tucker Carlson go on a rant and just riles up the woke and liberals because Tucker Carlson takes it a step further. We were having a little fun with it, like ticket someone who's wearing a mask, just tongue in cheek, like, hey guys, if you're vaccinated, let's get back to normal. Yeah. Tucker Carlson takes it, 3 steps further and says, if a child is wearing a mask, you should report that parent to Child Protection Services and remove the parent from the
Look, honestly, from a marketing standpoint, I love it. Like, I like that those guys know how to push the envelope a little too far, like Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson. They know what to say. You know how many people probably watched that clip?
Yeah.
If you're emotionally affected by these guys, you're the idiot.
You're so stupid.
They're clearly figured out how to go viral, say the most insane shit, say it in an articulate way, because both of those dudes are really smart.
Yeah.
And they say it very articulately, and they say the craziest things, rile up the entire left mob, and now you're going to have a portion of the population that will wear masks
just to prove,
just to say, I don't want to be with Tucker.
Those guys should, you know what? Good for you. We should they should always wear a mask. We should tape it to their face. If you are there was a lawsuit, I believe, against Fox News and Tucker Carlson, where Fox News said, you cannot charge, he's not sort of guilty of this or whatever, because no reasonable person could think that what he's saying is factual. This is performance. This is entertainment.
Oh,
that worked.
They formally said that?
Yes, they said it in a lawsuit.
So
that was
their defense. The defense was no reasonable person thinks this is real.
So Fox has basically said Tucker Carlson's Broadway.
Yes. And we are not liable here because no reasonable person could ever think this was real.
Okay, so then I want to take it one step further. I think if you or your family is wearing a mask, you have to get deported, and we deport you based on your 23andMe, whatever heritage shows the most, we send you back to that country.
Are we trying to go viral?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's so all these white people that are wearing masks, I'm going to find out, you're from Denmark? Go the fuck back to Denmark.
Yep. Yep.
I love it.
Literally. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking up the articles to make sure. It's literally, it says you cannot believe you can't sue Tucker Carlson because no reasonable person would believe it.
So why?
So mask them up, ship them out. You know what?
Yes.
You guys go with the QAnon people.
Yes. I cannot believe I wake up every morning to some freaking right-wing clip that everyone on social media is up in arms about. Candace Owen, Ben Shapiro. I mean, like, how fucking stupid are you to believe these people?
It's a playbook that they've perfected, and they know how to push the buttons of the other side, and everyone falls for it every time.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's a joke, man.
Tucker Carlson probably goes home and he's like, "Oh, that one's good. That's good. That one's definitely going viral."
Yeah, Tucker. Yeah,
he's genius. He is a fucking genius.
I mean, literally said in quotes, Fox's lawyer said he is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary.
He's the Dave Chappelle of the right.
He's literally like Borat. Yeah. He's literally Borat for a living.
Chamath called, which I kind of thought was really funny, he called Ben Shapiro the Meryl Streep of our time. Yeah, who can act like this?
Yeah. Incredible actor.
I would love to just hang with both of them on a weekend and just see. What are they really like? Because they are fully aware that they are just riling up people. They're like Jake Paul times 1,000.
They're literally, that's exactly right. That's who they are, exactly that character where they're like, all right, how am I going to get 50 million views today? Yeah. They just wake up and, okay, masks, cool. What if he probably has a team of like writers like Saturday Night Live and they're like, okay, what are 5 things we can say about masks?
It's basically like go to woke Twitter, find out what they're getting riled up
Poke
about,
the beehive,
and triple down on it.
Yeah. And say you should arrest kids.
Yes.
I like that. I think the whole thing is genius. These guys are just marketing geniuses.
How long do you think it lasts?
Forever. You know why? Because
it's a new part of our society.
Yeah. Because there's so many people. Dude, when you go on Twitter specifically is for anger. It's a platform for anger. Nothing goes viral. It's either occasionally some funny stuff goes viral, but what gets everyone excited?
Probably needs a dog.
But even if it goes
you
viral,
need a dog to go viral if you're not angry.
Even a funny viral post turns to anger after about 3 responses.
Yes, exactly. And
you know what I mean?
Then you're like, I can't believe you think that's funny. What about that hamster's rights?
What about the rights of that golden retriever?
What kind of food? Is it organic?
Oh my God. I'm telling you, man, it's literally like, the way I see it is it's like junk food. It's like we now have junk content. You have the McDonald's supersized version of content. And even if you tried to like do documentaries and all this stuff about how bad it is, people are still going to consume it. They can't help it. And in the same way we have an obesity problem in this country, you're going to have a dumb content problem in this country where people are just idiots and just walking around canceling everything and, QAnon.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Listen, the good news is the CDC, who, has flip-flopped a lot through this whole thing. I think it was probably a lot for them to give up the mask thing, even a little bit of ground, even just for outdoor gatherings and exercising. But they gave it up. So we're out here. And if they're saying this, that means we're all good.
Yeah, it's basically what Newsom's done in California. He's afraid to basically admit a lot of his draconian measures were ineffective. So he's just slow playing the reopen.
Yeah.
He's been on CNN and stuff. They've been like, they've been grilling him kind of hard because the recall passed.
Yep.
And he's a moron. I mean, the way he talks is so annoying. Even with French Laundry, he's like, my only mistake there, restaurants were open. My only mistake was there was more people at the table than what was the recommended amount, and I should have got up and left. You freaking liar.
The mistake was you as governor of California should sit your fucking ass home.
And you were the one telling everyone, stop doing this. And while you were doing it.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, he's an idiot. All right, next up. What's up with minimum wage? Biden's coming in to save the day. What's happening?
Well, he is looking to raise the minimum wage for federal contract workers from $10.95 to $15.
We have all that new capital gains money to spend, so fuck it.
Here is a way I'm actually totally okay with directly paying workers more money from the federal government. I'm okay with that. Yep. I think it makes total sense. if we're going to spend money, I don't want them to be allocating budgets to, stupid things. I'd rather just give money to people. This is like the direct way to do it. Yeah.
Seems to check out.
Yeah. I mean,
why not? How many people are employed by the government? Like most?
Yeah, exactly. It's just so many people.
I mean, you alone can change a lot of the income in this country.
So, I'm happy that the federal government has realized Jeff Bezos paved the way.
Yeah.
And had the $15 minimum wage.
Yeah.
And we should all thank Mr. Jeff Bezos for leading the way for the progressives.
You're like the left Tucker Carlson right now.
Yeah.
I actually got a DM that said Anning Carlson. There was a link to Tucker Carlson's mask.
Yeah, that's the point. Of course they did.
He knows how to poke. Yeah. Anning knows how to. He's like maybe the capitalist Tucker Carlson. That could be a lane for you. That's good. Yeah,
Pan
no, you're
Carlson.
right though. I mean,
Pan Carlson. The pansexual Tucker Carlson.
Oh my God.
No, but don't we have to give credit to Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, he set that number. That number was
he
big.
He set the tone.
Yeah.
And the federal government had to step up.
Okay. I like it.
I'll tell you what, I know we bashed him on here, but for anyone like Tim who is confused about why we were against the long-term capital gains raise, I really thought the guys on All In did a good job at explaining why it wouldn't work and why it needs to be more nuanced.
And why it's harmful. Because capital allocators will just have less money to invest.
Yeah.
So you'll have fewer businesses.
And even Chamath posted how about this?
Did you just say Chamath?
Yeah. I like Chamath.
I mean, fuck that guy.
That's why I said he's good with numbers. He posted like an alternative breakdown that's so simple, but it just shows a little bit of thought about how you could tax and incentivize holding investments for longer, tax higher on 1 year.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's like bare minimum thought. And it's like, oh yeah, that would make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it's bare minimum thought. Hey, if you hold an investment for over 10 years, you shouldn't pay capital gains tax.
Yeah, and I think frankly, that's why you need those people in the legislative body helping craft these policies. Because I saw one of Tim's DMs saying, oh, what do we need a bunch of rich people determining tax policy? You know why? Poor people don't understand it. Where the wasteful spending and revenue comes from in this country is not going to be understood by someone that doesn't play the game better than them, right?
And you want to call a spade a spade. Politicians are elected by popularity, not because of their intellectual power.
No.
So how are we just electing people in a popularity contest and expecting them to solve the most complex issues that we've ever faced?
Yeah.
I like that the word democracy has been replaced with popularity contest.
It is. I mean, Donald Trump
was our president.
Yeah.
And The Rock is going to be president in like 8 years.
Yeah. And then Travis Scott will be after that.
Yeah.
Travis Scott will be old enough. And then Logan Paul. Logan Paul in 12 years will be eligible.
And
he'll
Northwest.
be president. Yeah, and then Northwest, then Penelope, and then all these other kids.
You tell me that's democracy.
Yeah, democracy is based on algorithm of Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, I also think the country's in the most precarious position we've been in our lifetime, with just wealth inequality, and you see the unrest across metropolitan cities. This requires like all hands on deck. This requires the private sector and the public sector to figure out these solutions, because the public sector's proven they can't do it.
No, they're incapable.
But that's what kills me is Chamath put like 2 seconds of thought into a tweet, and it's a 500% better option.
Yes.
That's absurd. That's why we are saying, and also for the listener and Tim, that's why we're saying consult with people who do this, who run businesses, who know how to flow money and make things profitable and make things work. Because just these blanket things aren't good.
Yeah, we're at a critical state. We have a large portion of the population that's been left behind. We need to figure that out.
Yep.
But the policies in place to figure that out aren't effective.
I mean, I've already heard people saying, maybe it was on that podcast too, like I'll just wait 4 years or however long until we have a Republican president again that lowers it again.
Yeah.
It's that simple in some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up. One thing that really went sort of viral was after the UFC fight that Dee was so excited about last week, Dana White made some comments saying like, look, at this event, if you wanted to wear masks, you wore a mask. If you didn't, you didn't. All good. No one cared. No one judged the other person, whatever. That sort of went viral. Then he did a thing, I think it was with Candace Owens actually, where he said, we don't care about your politics. Don't bring that here. If you want to do the whatever. So he had these statements about sort of like letting people do their own thing and not bringing that into the UFC. And it went viral. For good or bad, it went viral. People really loved it and people really like gravitated to it. What is going on? Now I see this thing about Basecamp talking about banning politics. Is that at work? Is that a similar thing? Or are they saying...
Yeah, it's very similar. So, similar to Coinbase, what Brian Armstrong did, where he just wanted to remove that conversation out of the workplace. The idea of politics, all these very controversial topics. Because, to be fair, like, what's the upside in the discussion when things are so heated? You probably end up creating more of a divide. The upside could be, okay, it's a place for discussion. We should all be talking about these things. And I think that's fine. And I think what they're saying is you can talk about it amongst other employees, just not in a public forum. So they're saying, like Basecamp said, you can still talk about these things privately with your other coworkers. We don't want it in a public forum. And at the end of the day, they're a private company. They're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. And same thing, if you don't like what they do or represent, you can leave. The other, they thought this through in a number of ways. The other interesting thing is they offered something called paternalistic benefits. And what that is they were giving money for employees, and they were nudging them to do like fitness or go to farmer's market or education allowances and all these different wellness benefits. And they're saying, we don't really want to like nudge you into like doing things that you may not be comfortable with. So instead, we're going to do, they introduced a 10% profit sharing plan to provide direct compensation that people can spend on whatever you like privately without company involvement or judgment. Because by the way, maybe if I worked at Basecamp, I want my money to go to alcohol and they're not giving that to me. Like, so that's one thing. Then they had committees internal. They went out and said, we're going to disband all committees. Every company, like the social chair, this chair, they banned all those because same thing. They felt like, it's an individual responsibility. Let's get everyone back to work. And then the people, overarching people that were supposed to handle these things that we've hired, like the operations people, they'll do those things. And then they kept on going down, like no more 360 reviews. They used to have reviews where their peers would be involved in your reviews. I don't like that.
Or a junior reviews a senior person.
Which is ridiculous.
I think it's pretty simple. There's millions of companies.
Yeah.
If you don't align with values that this company has, choose to work somewhere else.
Yeah.
And if you want politics to be involved in your job, go find a job where politics are involved.
Yeah.
So every private company should do whatever they want, and employees have the right to choose to work at these companies or not. And I don't think we even need to make judgment whether Basecamp's doing the right thing or wrong thing. That's what the CEO wants to do. And if the employees want to leave, they leave.
Yeah.
And if another CEO wants politics involved and wants, to pursue certain, activist movements, that's up to those employees to decide if that aligns with their values.
Yeah,
this is very there's no reason to even have a discussion on this.
No, I think it's fine. I don't care.
People are pissed though, right?
Of course.
Got it.
Why? Here's the thing. It's like the only people that should be upset, frankly, are people at the company who are having political discussions publicly that they can't do it anymore.
That's who's pissed.
Other than that, why do we care what they do? I'm not going to judge Basecamp. I don't even.
Oh yeah.
It's like, here's the thing: is like at the end of the day, these are private enterprises. Their only job they have is to make money.
Yes.
That is their only fucking job.
Their job is the CEO's job is he reports to the board of directors and his shareholders.
Yeah.
Not the political activist in his Slack.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's not woke. Wake up, CEO. I don't know. I mean, look, I notice maybe last night I just got into a weird wormhole, but I'm noticing more and more pushback to the woke stuff. Like it's starting to become like skits on TikTok, and it's starting to become like these type of things where I feel like companies are taking stands. There's to me, it feels like and it's not like the far right pushback to woke that has always existed. It's more of a like logical crowd that's like, wait a minute, some of this stuff is like a little ridiculous. I just feel like there has to be a leveling that sort of comes.
Yeah,
I think it's happening.
I think it's happening currently. I think the center has basically decided that woke is just not something they're willing to stand for. And this is probably the biggest opportunity for a Republican to kind of disavow Donald Trump and all his crazy rhetoric. So if you had a guy that came in as a centrist Republican, he would probably like wax the floor of whoever the Democrats put.
Yeah.
You would think so. But the problem is everyone's getting radicalized in the meantime.
If you had a Republican that had empathy towards people.
If you had a Republican that was liberal on all social issues, LGBTQ,
race relations,
making sure that, minimum wage is high, like raising the minimum wage and taking care of people while being, more aggressive economically, it's a very easy platform, you would think.
I'll give you an example of a TikTok I saw last night. A guy said, if you want to know where I stand politically, I think that a gay weed farmer should be able to protect his land with a gun.
What does that mean?
What it means is you're down for LGBT.
Mm-hmm.
You think marijuana should be legalized, but this particular gentleman also believes strongly in
guns,
the Second Amendment, right? So, but I'm just saying there's this growing like, what about like common sense? Like, what about the middle? I feel like everyone's going so far left and right that I feel like there's this growing conversation about what about the middle?
The gay weed farmer with his guns.
Yeah, that's the middle.
That's the middle.
Yeah,
but see, there's the problem. Even if you had, I think this is the problem with the Republican Party. If you have a Republican that is so anti-gun reform, you're going to lose center people.
Yeah. I don't think anyone wants gun reform. Doesn't sound like it. Who wants gun reform?
No. The problem is everyone acts like it's take your guns or don't take your guns. What
Exactly.
everyone wants, what 80% of people want is common sense gun laws.
And then we have a bill at the Supreme Court that wants to conceal and carry.
Yeah.
They want to make that's at the Supreme Court right now.
Because I think when things go extreme, the other side goes extreme back and nobody says, wait a minute, why don't we just do this?
Yeah.
What everyone actually wants is for people with mental health problems or blah, 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 to not be able to get whatever, not be able to get an AK-47 with a 50-round magazine, not be able to get, like, that's what everyone wants. And instead, we are too busy going so extreme that nothing actually gets done. I think that is the point. Like essentially I'm not vouching for the TikTok. I'm saying there's this rising sense of like, there should be some common sense here. Like who cares about if gay people get married or not? You really still care about that? Who cares about legalizing marijuana? You really still care about that? You know what I'm saying?
So do you think now there's basically 3 parts of the country? There used to be 2. So you have your far left, you have the center, and you have your far right. And because of that, we're just going to be in this even further broken system?
Yeah, I mean,
because no center person agrees with any elements of the far left or any elements of the far right.
Yeah.
But I still believe it's 80% center, 10% each extreme. I just think those people don't talk. I'm telling you, those people are just, the 10% are just so loud. Most people they're not, I mean, look at all the people we interact with, even like family members of mine, even whatever, like very few people are extreme in either bucket. But most people are like, just shut up. This is like, can we just have some common sense?
I think the difference with people who voted for Donald Trump and people who didn't is that they were able to ignore his fuckery. They were able to ignore his racism, ignore, mocking a disabled person, ignore mocking a Mexican judge, which I don't have the ability to do.
Agreed. But a lot of people did.
Yes.
Like a lot. That's why I also don't think 50% of our country are crazy MAGA Trumpers marching around with their red flags. I really don't.
But do they believe woke is that bad that they're willing to ignore all of the rest of the alt-right?
I think so. I think there are people, probably too much so. Like, I don't think Donald Trump, I don't think you can justify that vote anyway, but like, there are people that are so petrified of the wokeness and where it leads. Okay. And rightfully so. I mean, look, some of it's a little scary on both sides. What's going on? Complete topic jump, but what's going on with houses? I mean, we talked about lumber being on fire. You just can't even buy a home if you wanted to because the market's so hot.
Well, what's interesting is there's a list Bloomberg put out of like the top 10 locations in the last year where home prices increased the most. And I think people will be surprised because it's not the cities everyone thinks it is. So number 1, anyone have a guess?
Idaho.
Austin.
Phoenix, Arizona. Number 2.
Miami.
Nashville.
San Diego, California.
Wow.
What the hell?
Number 3, Seattle, Washington. Number 4, Boston. Number 5 is Tampa, probably because of Tom Brady.
Got a Super Bowl?
Yeah, just like the people from Boston moving just to like get some wins. Cleveland, Ohio. Los Angeles, California. Woo! Los Angeles on his. Charlotte, North Carolina. Detroit, Michigan. New York. These are all big cities. None of the small cities had the same price gain that we saw. Like, I think it's like pockets of areas in these second, third tier cities that kind of became popular. But look at this. These are like the biggest freaking cities in the country. Except for Tampa. All these other cities are pretty big.
So what's the takeaway?
The takeaway is like...
things aren't what they seem.
Yeah, like it's the same thing. You see all this noise that everyone's moving to Austin and Florida. Reality is nobody is.
They're the loudest voice. That's all.
Yeah.
Similar to what we talked about.
Yeah. Because even I listened to parts of that All In podcast the other day. I think one of them asked, are any of you guys live in California? Like, no. So then why we keep talking about this? Like, they're not leaving. Nobody's leaving. Only thing that's happening is a bunch of people from San Francisco are moving to LA. That is...
There's a decent number of people from Silicon Valley that have moved to Miami that are somewhat important. Okay, but that's like a couple hundred people.
Just 10.
No, the important people is probably 5 to 10. Yes. But they bring their employees and whatnot.
Okay, we only care about the 5 to 10. I'm sorry if you're the lackey for Keith Rabois. Okay, that doesn't count. No one gives a shit about you. You're an irrelevant person. Okay?
That's fair. All right. Listen, I think you're right. I think that it was a hot topic. It was fun to talk about. I think there's this element of like, oh, fuck LA, fuck, blah, blah. You know, like we don't need that. And I don't think it panned out. And I think that you're going to see probably over the next year, I would imagine, as long as there's no bubble up of this virus again, more people just moving to big cities.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the place to be. You're telling me like, especially like you see what happens this summer and fall. Next spring, it's going to be like, all right, I'm moving to LA or moving to New York.
I mean, there aren't even houses for sale.
Yeah.
It's impossible to find a house.
And by the way, the rent, like 6 months ago in LA and in New York City, there was a lot of deal on rents. And it is quickly evaporating.
Yeah.
All the apartment deals, they're gone.
Yes.
Gone.
I knew friends that were looking and they were getting 2 to 3 months free.
Yeah. 6 months ago.
Now you can't get them.
Now for a 12-month lease, you have to pay 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smartest thing might have been to move here when everyone was leaving like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
Because now you're set up, you're established, you got a good rate on your rent, you got the needle in the arm, and you're ready for a good summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what day it is today, Pete?
What day is it?
Taco Tuesday. I'm going to have a Margarita.
With your tacos?
Ooh. Yes.
Oh, a new little mix-up instead of a margarita.
Exactly. I was thinking about it. I'm going to the grocery store after this. Going to go pick up all my fixins to make tacos.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I am going full-blown margarita, and I'm just going to do my high and just avoid tequila tonight.
Chill out.
Chill.
That's my favorite part. And you can mix it into anything.
Yeah, and it does make movies funnier.
Yes. Well, that's a fact. We know that.
What's interesting is I watched a movie yesterday on Netflix called Prom, and I had tequila, and I turned it off after 30 minutes because I was not laughing.
Wow.
And it looked like a movie that I normally would enjoy and laugh.
Right.
So I feel like the My High.
So My Highs are the trick here.
Yeah, My Highs are the trick. Because everyone's telling me Thunder Force is bad. But I also was My Highs in.
That's going to be my next thing is to watch it with My High.
And so if you didn't like Thunder Force, go
Try it
get
with
My High, then rewatch it, and then you'll tell me that it's the best movie you've ever seen.
Exactly. Lucky for them, they only have to go to urban markets to get it delivered right to their front door here in LA.
Perfect. Or go to getmyhigh.com.
Yes.
That's high is spelled H-I.
Yes.
So getmyhigh.com. Check it out. I'm getting a lot of incredible messages from people trying it. And one of the comments from someone I know goes, wow. when they received it.
Satoshi said we should have just said it's liquid IV, but it gets you high.
Oh.
So it's like a good comparable.
That is a good
It's
comparable.
high quality. It's some of the best.
Amazing.
Thanks, My High.
Thank you.
What's up with, I see that there's a new iOS update, and obviously, as far as our world is concerned, the main topic, other than the 20 new emojis, is Apple finally kicked in this security feature of blocking tracking across multiple apps. So now it looks like you have to opt in from each platform if you're down to be tracked, which I can't imagine why anyone would opt in at the way that looks.
I just opt into all of them today. I want everyone to track me. Yeah.
This is your industry. You need to know this. And you also like the lowest barrier of entry for your content and you're like, oh, The Rock? I love it. Zoa Energy? I'll take it. But I mean, your average person, the way that this notification looks, I mean, why would you ever click allow?
Exactly. And this is Apple pretty much, in my opinion, put the fucking hammer on Facebook and Google and YouTube and all the big advertising platforms, because I don't know if everyone's paying attention, but I looked at our ad performance the last 24 hours was so scary bad because the tracking is just fucked.
It's what do you track? A male or female?
Yeah. And so we all have to adjust and we have to optimize not for conversion anymore because we probably can't track it. And so we're all going to have to adapt. And that's just part of the way the new world is going to be. But it's going to open up a lane.
Can you break down, exactly what this means for people that don't run ad targeted businesses? What is this new policy and how does it affect businesses?
So Apple felt like it was their responsibility because on the iPhone, a lot of people were exploiting tracking through apps and using that data, selling that data to advertisers or to Facebook or whatever to help optimize personalized ads. So our ad targeting.
So does it affect your Facebook ads?
Yes.
So Facebook can't use this data.
Yes.
Or Facebook can't automatically track you.
Yes.
That's
all the apps. All the apps
automatically. So before, all the apps were automatically allowed to track you.
Yes.
Now Apple,
you get to opt in.
You can opt in or opt out.
Yeah. So Facebook came out and said, the reason why you need to opt in is we can do more targeted ads towards you, so you're not seeing ads of useless things you don't want. The other answer they gave was it's going to crush small business because now they can't efficiently target
Which is also true.
Which is true. So,
but I don't think either of those work for your average
average person
Instagram
doesn't give a shit.
User.
They don't care about small business or personalized ads. So it is a big shift in the industry. I think what effectively is going to have to happen is, one, we're all going to have to change the way we market. So that's a big part of it. Two,
I think it's a big win for influencers.
It is a huge win.
Bring it back to influencers, you're saying? Because now they actually matter?
Because what you can do is you can look at the demographic of an influencer's following and you can have them post. You can give them the money as opposed to throwing it out into the mystery void of whatever data you get from Instagram directly. I think it causes an increase in influencer spend.
There was an article that came out this week that Tim Cook and Zuck met in Sun Valley, which is one of those big conferences. I don't know if it's Allen Co. or one of those where all the most important people show up. And Tim Cook and Zuck had a one-on-one. And
gosh, I would die to hear that.
And apparently Tim Cook told Zuck, give up the data. And
You're
Zuck's jaw dropped and they became enemies after that.
Wow.
Like, fuck you. My data's all that matters.
Yeah. That's really interesting. And I think Drama's right. I think influencer is a big opportunity. Original content will continue to be a big opportunity.
So we're going to be sold tea now. Let's bring it back to tea.
You're probably going to get like a T-Talks ad because they're like, they don't know who the fuck you are anymore.
Yeah.
They're like,
Are you a
pansexualist?
pansexualist? Are you a homosexual? Are you heterosexual?
We don't know. Let's try everything.
Anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough for brands short term. Then we'll adjust and we'll figure it out. But I think short term, it's just going to be tough for everybody.
What do you think the percentage of people that opt in versus opted out?
5%. I don't know. Why would you? You have to see the notification. It's like,
it's very discouraging.
No, there's no reason.
Where,
it's literally
I
like you click on.
it.
You have to do the iOS update.
Okay.
Yep. And then, so just imagine a little thing that comes up like, that says like, you know how it used to say like allow to access your photos or like whatever. It's just a notification that pops up and says allow Instagram to track you across multiple platforms.
Yeah. Why would
yes
you
or no? And you're like, no.
I agreed to it because,
it should say, do you care about small businesses?
Yeah.
And then, like at least give us a shot. There's no way. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But this will be, the people who figure it out will continue to figure it out. And there'll be just a new norm, I think.
Yeah.
But props to Apple, man, for is Facebook suing them?
I don't know.
They were suing them, right?
Oh, maybe they are. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, there was a lawsuit at play here.
Wow.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. We'll have a lot more to report on that as things start going. I have to talk about the fight of the century, and it doesn't involve Jake Paul, doesn't involve Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, none of the above. And I will say that, like, I heard that Pete over the last 24 hours has had an identity crisis like he's never had before. He's really been struggling with like who he really is and what side he falls on.
I almost didn't sleep last night.
Yeah.
I was rolling around thinking,
where's your loyalty?
Side? Yeah. It's hard.
I agree. Well, here's the question. Are you more of a Dave Portnoy guy or gal? Or are you more of a Elon Musk guy or gal? And that you're going to have to choose because they are at odds. And it seems like the basis, if I read it right, was because Dave Portnoy was talking shit about Elon Musk selling some of Tesla's Bitcoin. And he was like, so wait a minute, you tweet about it, pump up the stock, and then you sell it. What's going on here? Funny business. Elon responded, it's not pretty.
Yeah. So Tesla sold 10% of their Bitcoin holdings for $100 million profit, which is kind of odd. And then he came out and said, I'm proving a point that it's to show that it can be held as an asset that you can trade in for cash. Bullshit. I mean, probably needed cash. That's why they did it.
It was also, I think, a quarter of the quarter's profits.
Yes.
400 million in profit, 100 million in Bitcoin sales. I have to go back to what I told both of you probably back in 2014, 15. I was like, hey, we should just put our cash in Bitcoin.
Yeah, we'd have a lot of money.
We'd be so rich. You know how rich we'd all be.
But we wouldn't have to fight with Tim every fucking 3 days.
Young and Reckless would be like a $500 million company.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Elon was late to the game.
Well, I mean, and then, Dave Portnoy came out and said he's now the proud owner of one whole Bitcoin.
So this is similar to what we were talking about, how people get so riled up over Tucker Carlson because they don't realize it's performance.
Yeah.
Dave Portnoy's performance, I see so many people, because now he's leaning all the way in and acting like he's this big Bitcoin guy.
You should see this press release he just put out. It's unbelievable.
I just saw it. I just skimmed it because I literally just got it. But he's doing all these videos, how he's been the day one Bitcoin guy, the day one crypto guy. And how do you not realize it's a joke?
That's how D is. Like, and it's hot. He's like, all right, I guess he's always been on it.
And now people are getting so mad at Dave, like, you don't know anything about crypto. And like the crypto community is like equally as dumb as the people that get riled about all this stuff. Like, but
that feels to me like boxers saying Jake Paul is not a real boxer. You just got to embrace it.
Yeah.
You just got to be like, look, it's good for the sport.
So, look, this is what he said. Portnoy has made it clear that he still likes and respects Musk, shooting down rumors of this being some Twitter war, but the diamond-handed Portnoy has been dubbed by some as the new Baron of Bitcoin, so he felt a personal responsibility to defend against any possible lettuce hand threats. The main takeaway here is that David Portnoy is a ground floor crypto investor who is the proud owner of one Bitcoin, and he will never sell. You can propose to your girlfriend with one of the Portnoy hands because they're made of pure diamond, baby.
It's genius.
Yes.
It's genius because you just know people are going to get so riled up.
Yeah.
You're going to have all these Bitcoin people that are just going crazy.
Yeah.
You have all these Elon people getting mad.
Yeah.
And he's laughing and getting views.
Oh my God.
But it's good for crypto, man. They got to just...
Oh, it's great for crypto.
It's good for Satoshi.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, did this affect any of your Doge holdings? Did they go over to Bitcoin, anything like that?
No. I still find Bitcoin or Dogecoin to be far more valuable than Doge
Got it.
or Bitcoin.
Okay.
I can't even keep it
You don't even
straight.
know
I
what
got
you
so many coins: shitcoin, asscoin, pisscoin,
Totally got
Dogecoin, Bitcoin.
There's a cum rocket coin.
There's a cum rocket coin. I just saw a meme. It's like when you wake up and some 23-year-old kid just made $1 million off cum coin, and you still got to work 40-hour weeks.
Pete, you have to decide right now, who are you riding with? Portnoy or
I switched.
Elon?
I'm going Portnoy. I thought Elon made some valid points in the beginning. Now I just realized that what Portnoy's doing, and I'd rather ride for that than some boring ass Elon.
So-
I like how Pete is staying true to his DNA because Portnoy was his guy before he became a financial whiz kid.
Yep.
And
And
he's
last
now
night in the
back to
group chat,
Portnoy.
he was Team Elon.
Yep.
And he flipped.
You went
But
back
that's
to your
a
it
good-
was pretty much Portnoy and I came up at the same time in the financial market.
Okay.
You know.
Got it.
He started
Pete's
day
a good
trading.
representation of
I started
most people
trading-
don't give a shit. They love the
Yeah.
press release. They're here
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. What's the update on Nike? Should I take my hat off?
You should. I mean, Kobe left. Kobe's estate has pulled their deal with Nike.
And it seems like that was because the estate wanted to do a lifetime deal and Nike didn't,
Yeah.
or
So
not on their terms.
exactly. So I thought this is the biggest fucking slap in the face to Kobe Bryant's legacy that Nike just didn't. What does it matter to them to give the estate whatever deal they want? Who
They must have been
cares?
asking
Well-
for like, I mean, what could they have possibly, because it makes no sense to let this go. So they had to be asking for $5 billion.
I just don't believe that. I feel like Nike, I think people have this perception that Nike is the same company they see that makes those commercials. But then every 6 months, we hear this crazy story about internally at Nike.
The number we've heard that both Kobe and LeBron, who were the two biggest Nike athletes since Jordan, is that they each make, forget the headline number because they get royalty on the shoes.
Yeah.
They each make 50 to 100 million a year on Nike. So let's split it in half. Let's assume 75 million is what Kobe
estate wants.
estate was making.
Yeah.
What could the ask have been for Nike to say no?
Probably keep that.
It has to be
Well,
so many. It has to be
sounded
absurd.
like-
This is bad for the world. Like, what's going to happen?
Yes.
Now you're going to pull all Kobe product and like,
They're
the
stopping
estate-
production.
what are you going to do? You're going to go make your
it.
own product
Imagine
or
a
something?
Kobe
or-
release. If they did a Kobe release,
Yeah.
I don't even care about sneakers. I would buy it.
Yes, I
Yeah.
just do. That's what I'm saying. Even if the ask
Jerseys?
was
Jersey
100,
sales?
even if the ask was 100 million a year, this is Kobe Bryant. You just pay it.
I don't understand either because there was also talks about obviously her wanting and Kobe's wishes were to have obviously more people wearing them, and they were just releasing so many of them in such limited quantities that nobody was really getting them, and it was a resale market, and it was becoming this thing that wasn't true to what they originally started. And Kobe had also talked previously that he was set to leave Nike eventually to start his own line. So it's right now
So
that he's
maybe
not
they had
here,
something in the works.
right? But like you wouldn't really formulate that now without him here, right? So it's like, why would Nike not just sign that and
I
just do
don't-
the deal?
I
Well,
don't-
maybe they already had it in the works. I don't know, but it just seems bad all around. But what's the other Nike? There's China problem still is the problem?
Well, no, there's also I mean that obviously continues to be a problem. But then even the Simone Biles, the gold winning gymnast, she left for Athleta, the Gap activewear brand,
Oh my
which
gosh.
seemed like she's such a big star. Like, why let someone like that go? Like, I just don't understand what these deals? Is it like they don't want to be affiliated with Nike? Is it purely money? What is it? Because Nike's on fire. Everyone knows Nike's on fire, but like it's the same thing. Under Armour was on fire at one point, and then eventually a couple bad moves, you start losing momentum really, really quickly. And like you let Jerry Lorenzo go. Why?
Oh, they did?
He's the creative director of Adidas basketball now or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he's launching Fear of God Athletics with Adidas. Why would you let Jerry Lorenzo go?
So
you let Kanye go?
I think I figured it out. So their CEO, John Donahoe, started January of 2020.
He's ServiceNow guy.
He
doesn't even know what basketball is.
Exactly. He worked at Bain and Company. So he was at, you're right. He was at ServiceNow.
Yeah.
So a SaaS software CEO
Yeah.
should not be making the final call whether to extend a Kobe deal or not.
Yeah. Or letting Simone Biles go. The Olympics are coming up in 3 months. She's the star of the Olympics. Why would you let someone go? And why did you let Jerry Lorenzo go? And why did you let all these people go?
Because he's looking at it like a consultant.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're already, how many signature player revenue do we have?
Yeah.
Oh, it's this much. How much is that branding? No, it makes you want to buy more Nike.
Yes.
That's what people don't get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big ball drop. John Donahoe.
Nice.
SaaS.
Thank you.
That's what happens when you bring SaaS to Nike.
Yeah. This guy's Nike's gonna be selling software and their entire business is gonna plummet. They'd be selling running apps.
Well, good for the running app. I bet it'll get some great optimization.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens, but I don't like it. And I'll go ahead and switch hats. Step raised $100 million in their Series C, and they have a partnership with, not to be confused with Steph Curry. Maybe he should change his name. Steph Curry.
I like Steph Curry. But yeah, I mean, CJ McDonald, the CEO, was actually on group chat not too long ago. And they did
hitting journalism.
Yeah.
We're real journalists.
Yeah. I mean, and now we have, they raised $100 million and they have 1.5 million users in just 6 months after launch. I mean, they went aggressive with Charlie D'Amelio and the D'Amelio family. That shit clearly worked. And now look, boom, you're off to the races.
That's the cards that they always have? Like the credit cards? God,
exactly.
Got it.
I have a bone to pick with CJ.
Oh.
Where was our allocation?
Did you ask CJ?
I think after the interview, I was like, let us know when you're doing a next financing round.
He's like, things move so fast,
Obviously, he doesn't know who he's dealing with over here.
I would have loved to have gotten in on that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a big believer. I already have the card.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. They made me get it.
I thought it was like for 14-year-olds.
Yeah. But you guys were like, oh, you should get it. And,
Yeah.
make a good, I don't know, play on it. Yeah.
Okay. And it's a good card?
I haven't used it. I have no idea. But I would love to have gotten it in the round. Big angel investor.
Are you?
Oh my
This is past angel. This is a big boy round.
This is growth.
God investor? What goes next? Angel, God, boy.
This is growth investing.
Oh, got it. Right.
God, he just said angel, then God.
He just worked his way up. Yeah.
What I really liked is similar to whoever else did it with an email. They also sent an email about their $100 million raised.
Who?
Step.
Oh, okay.
They emailed everybody like, we raised $100 million.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I don't love it. I don't love it, but the other place, Tonal was doing Instagram ads.
Yeah. Yeah. That's different.
That's absurd.
I guess
they're just using that for
email.
customer acquisition. Like, look, we're not a sham.
Yeah, exactly.
For real. That's so scammy. All right. Speaking of our hard-hitting journalism, it's interview time.
Big interview.
Who do we got?
We got Kenny Beecham, a big, huge YouTuber and NBA expert. We're going to talk basketball. Maybe Steph Curry.
Yeah, I'm curious what he has to say about Steph Curry and also the Kobe deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, we could get some feedback there.
That's a good idea.
Let's find out.
All right, everyone. We have our special guest here, Kenny Beecham, a.k.a. the king of the fourth quarter. How do you get that moniker? That's like a pretty big... I think self-proclaimed moniker.
Listen, I came up with it when I was 14 years old in my parents' basement. So it wasn't like something I really thought about. The story goes, I'm playing a game of 2K and I'm down by like 20 points heading into the fourth quarter. And that one time I came back, I'm like, you know what? I'm 1-0 here. That's my name from here on out.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. And so I have a number of questions. I think the first question is, I don't know how old you are, but you're definitely a very young guy, and you're 24 years old, and you built a pretty big following in sports, which is traditionally an old person's game, right? Like, especially when you think about media and sports, like when I go watch ESPN or any of these channels, these people are old and they're talking about sports. And it felt like it's always been guarded by those people. How did you break in and be such a force in this industry at such a young age?
I think it's right place, right time, right? I think a lot of the fans in the league that I'm a fan of, the NBA, are super young. And it was just about being at the right place. I think that the reason some of the viewers like me more than maybe some of the people on TV is that I'm never going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to force topics that you might see on TV. Who's the GOAT? Like, that's never been a conversation I cared about. And people see right through those type of things. And I think that my audience sees how genuine I can be and the passion I have for talking about basketball. And that's where they gravitate to.
That's interesting. And then what do you because you have a really large following across all your platforms. What's the rise of the following? So like a lot of these people, who listening have brands, are trying to build personal brands. Like, how did you build such a big following at such a young age for a category that is typically not young?
Right. I wish there was some type of formula I can give out to everyone, but it's more about, for me at least, when it comes to the YouTube platform, when it comes to talking about sports, I just always try to put together the best content possible in the realm of the game. I've seen people do what I do, but I was like, I can do that, but even better. Whether it be video quality, getting the best kind of cameras, or just studying the game of basketball, I've always tried to be better than the person that was before me. And I wish there was some type of formula, because I get asked stuff like this very often. I just decided to do things that I like. And the YouTube algorithm took over. People started to find the channel. And then that's just how simple it can be sometimes to grow an audience.
And so if you were to start from scratch today, would you still go on YouTube, or would you go on TikTok, or would you go on Snapchat? What would you do?
I would definitely say YouTube. I don't know about the monetization on those other platforms, but I know YouTube is king for monetization. Like, I've done a lot of different projects solo. Like, we're working on something called Game that's launching the 28th, which should be super exciting. But I've always had the YouTube monetization to fall back on. So like, if all of my other adventures fail, I know for sure I can upload a video, it can get 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 views, and I can be able to pay my bills. I don't think it's the same thing for TikTok. I don't think it's the same thing for Snapchat. I don't think it's the same thing for Instagram. YouTube has always been king.
Wow. I need to go back to YouTube.
Yeah.
Shit.
The fuck you doing on TikTok?
Why am I doing a podcast? I should go back to YouTube. But yeah, that's super, super interesting. And then, basketball is in a really interesting place, because it almost feels like sports have become very polarizing over the last year. When I think about what happened in the NFL with Kaepernick, and then I think about the last summer at the NBA with all the social justice kind of conversation, which brought to light a lot of the issues in America, a lot of people that obviously swing right feel like sports aren't a place for politics. I come here to enjoy my blah, 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 whatever. Do you think that actually had an impact on NBA ratings?
I think it can have an impact for sure. But I'm of the opinion that politics and sports have always been intertwined one way or another. It's just on the main stage now because some of the biggest names in the industry, LeBron James, and these are the type of people that they're voicing their opinions. I honestly do believe that even if you don't agree with some of the political issues or the political things that NBA players are fighting through or trying to showcase, you can still watch a basketball game. It's not like LeBron is at the free throw line with a Black Lives Matter shirt on. Yeah. So the people that are trying to use the political view to stop watching sports, it's just always been very confusing to me. And a lot of it, in my opinion, is not very political. Saying the statement Black Lives Matter or wearing a shirt that says Black Lives Matter is not a political point, you know? And the people that are annoyed by that, I think the NBA is completely okay with losing that type of viewership because they know that the message itself is more important than maybe the ratings.
Yeah, and I think the challenge becomes, I'm a huge NBA fan. I'm going to watch it, and I appreciate what all the players are doing. The person that we need to understand what's going on isn't watching the damn sport.
That is also true.
And so that's where I get, like, I see people on social media particularly so angry that players have an opinion. Do you believe it's because it's black players have an opinion? Or if it was a white player with an opinion, would that matter too? Because it's mind-boggling to me that people are so angry about it.
I think it does play a part for sure, but I also think that they're so accustomed to players being just players because players didn't have an outlet back in the day. You know, if we're talking about the 80s, the 90s, or even before then, they were on TV to watch basketball, baseball, football, then they went home. But now we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have all these different platforms to understand the players deeper than a guy shooting 40% from three.
Yeah. And so you feel that, you know, there's been a lot of benefit of social media. So like the passive fan gets to watch highlights and experience NBA in one way on House of Highlights or anywhere on social media. And then you have your diehard fan that watches a game, consumes all the podcasts and the talk radio, probably watches your videos, and then, you know, kind of engages 360. Because to me, basketball culture seems bigger than ever, even though basketball, the ratings, which is the tool they use to kind of say, is this sport popular, is down.
Yeah, for sure. Because basketball, the NBA goes into music, it goes to fashion, it goes to culture. It's more than just the dribbling of basketball. And there's so many different ways to keep up now that, the ratings might be down, but I honestly believe that it's bigger than it's ever been. You know, like, I talk about basketball for a living. My views are as high as they've ever been in my lifetime. You know, it keeps going up and up. There's so many different creators, or I guess the Instagram followers, Twitter followers of these NBA players can be a testament to, like, the game is huge. The game is huge. And I know people that do not watch full games. They will go to House of Highlights, watch a 10-game recap on the NBA YouTube channel, or even watch my videos to keep up with the league, but they're still engaged with what's going on.
Yeah, I would probably consider myself that person. I would just... I'll watch the playoffs. I'll watch like the big games. Or if I hear my brother will text me, Steph's going off. And then I'll be like, all right, I got to go.
Watches the fourth quarter.
I watch the fourth quarter. And I think that's just, we consume content differently than we did like when I was growing up. It was a completely different era. And I think the big turning point to sports for me are two things. One, I think gambling is going to be like this enormous impact on sports like we've never seen before, because America doesn't want to admit it, but everyone's just gambling all day every day on sports. We just don't want to make it public that that's what's actually everyone doing. Second, there's this like insane thing that happened in the last 6 months with NBA Top Shot, which I think is so revolutionary because it just made the game even bigger, because it's you know, you can call it investing, you can call it gambling, you call it whatever it is. It's about money. And so when there's money involved, more people are engaged. What are your takes on gambling and NBA Top Shot?
Well, I think they're both. Gambling and NBA Top Shot is collecting or investing. It's all of that. And gambling just became illegal, or like live bets just became illegal here in Illinois. And I can't tell you how much fun me and my guys in the group chat have had just trying to figure out who can make the most money today on like live betting.
So how does that work? Because we don't have that. How does that work?
Oh, okay. So on some of the apps, I won't say the app name. I won't say the app name, but you can go to a specific game and say, hey, the over-under on Steph Curry tonight is 35.5 points. Okay. If he gets 36, you're up. If he gets 35 even, you're down. And you can pick a 8-leg parlay, and you can turn $10 to $1,000 depending on how extreme your bets can be. And it's fun. I'm be honest. I've lost a lot of money this year because of it, but it's just fun. You know, it's fun. So betting has been great. NBA Top Shot is so crazy because even before NBA Top Shot was this big thing, me and my managers were in conversations with them, and I didn't see the vision.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a very short-minded person when it comes to things. I want like instant gratification. Like investing has always been weird to me. Like that's why gambling has been so big to me, because I know at the end of the night, it's either I won $100 or I lost, $100. But we didn't see the vision, right? We're in the meeting and I'm like, it's fun. Highlights are cool, but I didn't understand it. Like I was in the company of like the people that was like, I can just watch that highlight on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it has grown to so much more. And now I wish that we were in on that thing. It's 6 months later and it's the biggest thing in the world. And I'm like, we just missed the prime opportunity to make a lot more money.
Yeah, I think you're still early. Like, I still feel like there's a lot of opportunity there. And I think the thing that I love about what you're doing is that, I don't know, what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were 14 years old?
I wanted to be a radio talk show host.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you have a radio talk show voice too. Like, it just sounds like I'm like talking to
this guy's been doing it for 10 years. Yeah. Of course she's got it.
But I'm just saying, like, think about it. You're 14. Where'd you grow up? Chicago, you said?
Chicago,
yeah. So you're a 14-year-old kid in Chicago and you wanted to be a radio talk show host. That just seems impossible, when you're 14 years old. It literally seems impossible. And you have made this incredible career out of it. And that's like the beauty of what's happened. Like, we talk about decentralization a lot in finance with crypto, but it's also decentralization of everything. Like you can go build your own following and you get to talk about basketball all day for a living. That's fucking crazy. Like it's not like, and the thing about what you're doing is, which is very different than, let's say, a TikTok kid. The reason why is that TikTok kid is only going to look like that as a young person. You could potentially be doing this for the next 100 years, assuming you're a healthy guy. You're going to live a long, healthy life, and you get to do this forever. It's just so crazy to me that like you found your future already.
Yeah, I mean, you think about some of those radio jobs; they're lifelong jobs. Like they get in at 30, then they won't retire until they're 80 or they're on their deathbed. So some of the shows I used to listen to in Chicago when I was a kid 10 years ago are still hosts of the shows now. So it's like I can't compete with those things. So I have to figure out my own different avenue. And the way to get there was tough. I mean, like you said, I started 10 years ago. It wasn't until 3 to 4 years ago where it actually became a job, where it actually became a business. So I spent the first 6 years of this thing just doing things for free, trying to have fun, trying to find my voice and try to find my audience. But once we got an audience, I was like, we will not stop. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to evolve myself and my content. And here we are now, 1 million subscribers and a lot of different projects we're working on.
That's amazing. What are some of the coolest things you've been able to do?
So I work with Bleach Report, right? And the working with Bleach Report has been so great because they didn't find me, I found them. Right? I was listening to a podcast with Omar of House of Highlights. He no longer works there, but he's the creator of House of Highlights. He's on, I think, JJ Redick's podcast. And he's like, yeah, we got this Instagram account that has X amount of followers. We're doing Twitter a little bit, but we want to get into the YouTube game. And at this point, I have 200,000 subscribers. So I have a solid following over on YouTube. And I'm like, bro, if they want to start YouTube, I do YouTube. I do NBA YouTube. So I shoot them an email, boom. Doug, the general manager over there, hits me back, and then we start this conversation. So being in that first meeting with them was huge. And them seeing me at the time, I was a 21-year-old kid, seeing me and be like, he can be our guy, it gave me so much confidence. So then we get to the point where I'm interviewing NBA players. The first one was Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. And I told him after we get done with the interview, like, man, you're the first player I've sat down with and talked to. And he was like, man, I wouldn't be able to tell. So that's when I knew, okay, I can actually do this thing full time, and I actually have a future in this if I'm sitting down with a player that gets interviewed all the time and he feels like I've been doing this for as long as ever, right? So we have that one. The biggest highlight, other than us launching Called Game tomorrow, the 28th, which is like my life's work, I sat down with Shaq, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley, interviewed them. The funniest dudes ever. And that was like, that has been the highlight. There's a picture behind me here of us four sitting together. Like it's on my wall. It will never go away for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, that's my favorite. That's the only sports show I'll watch is that one on television because they're just so funny. So tell us about Called Game. Give us the details on it.
So yeah, like I said, I work with Bleach Report, and as great as it is, I've always been a creative. I've always been the guy that wanted to have his own vision on things and try to do things the way I want to. And with these bigger companies, you have to send it to your producers. They have to send it to the GM. The GM has to send it to this guy for anything to get approved. And I was like, I can still work with them by doing things independently. So this was my first idea of being as independent as possible, where we built an entire set in Santa Monica with the Called Game name. And we have players coming through to do like interview-based conversations. And I think right now we filmed like 5 or 6 episodes. We got them banked up. The idea of it is still evolving, right? Because I'm still learning how to interview people. I'm still trying to figure out how to be entertaining with someone else, because it's always been a one-man show here. But it's launching the 28th, and I cannot be more excited for it, because I think my audience is going to love it. And I also think that we have this opportunity to reach a different audience inside of it.
And so is it only on YouTube? Is it on any other platform?
So to be on YouTube, we'll do podcast networks as well. And then we'll do like clip outs similar to like Joe Rogan's show, give you 7 minutes of the show if that's the only thing you care about. We'll do TikTok. We're going to hit all socials, but the main spot is YouTube. Yep.
Amazing. And so I have 2 parting questions. One is who is going to win the NBA title this year?
Listen, if everything goes well and health is not an issue, the Brooklyn Nets are hard to beat. But that's not really the case, since Kevin Durant can't stay healthy. He's playing 3 games, they're missing 3 games. I still am a firm believer of the Lakers. It's hard to bet against LeBron. It's hard to bet against Anthony Davis as a group. And then some of their other players, like Dennis Schroeder, has turned himself from like a good point guard to a really, really good point guard, a good defensive guy. They got depth now. I'm excited about them. But like if it's healthy 7-game series, bro, it's got to be Brooklyn. You can't guard all the firepower that they have over there.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Suns?
I love the Suns. Chris Paul is my favorite.
They're in a great position right now.
They are, but they not messing with the Lakers in a series, bro.
Okay.
Chris Paul's a good friend of mine, and we did an incredible collaboration with him with my brand 5-4. But yeah, I don't know if they're beating the Lakers.
Yeah, Chris Paul's my guy. And then, I love that team.
Yeah, they're really good, and they're fun to watch. And finally, words of wisdom that you can impart on all of us today. It could be about anything.
Do it. Like, everything I've done so far is because I had an idea and I just went for it. I went all in. And maybe that's not the best advice to give somebody, to go all in on something, but if it's your dream, it's your passion, I've always been somebody that tell you to do it. Like I said, 6 years of my life of doing this thing, I was not getting paid a cent. I was doing a retail job. I wasn't doing anything. And then I got that first YouTube paycheck for $200. I was like, I'm quitting my job, bro. I'm quitting my job to focus on this full time. It worked. It worked. And I continue to try to do things independently, because these are the ideas. And like, if I didn't just do it originally, I'd probably still be working in that vitamin shop next to Walgreens. Like, I would always tell people that starting a podcast, starting anything, have a vision and do it.
I love it. That's incredible advice. And I like that you shared your real story, because I think a lot of people like to sugarcoat like the last 10 years and just like to talk about what's happened right now. But all these things take such time and discipline. So really great. When are you making it out to LA next so we can hang?
I'm there the middle of May, like May 12th is the next time I'm there. We got some shoots planned. I'll be there for like a week, man. I'll be there for a long time.
It's my birthday. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Maybe we'll take you out for your birthday. Maybe. Well, please hit us up when you're in town. We'd love to meet in person. But like, yeah, your story is incredible. And like, you have such a bright future ahead of you, especially in sports. Sports just needs to be shaken up by young people. When I turn on the TV and I see those people, I just lose. It's just snooze fest. Like, it needs to change.
Yeah, I agree. That's why, I just don't even watch those things anymore. I always tell people to come watch me. Don't watch them, watch me.
Yeah, amazing. All right, man. Well, thank you very much for your time. And we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Good stuff. D, great job there. You, like I said, you really have this journalism thing down.
Thank you.
You're You're welcome. Do we have shout outs? What's Satoshi up to? What's going on in shout out world?
Yeah, I actually got a shout out from a far off land.
Okay.
That land being Australia.
Oh, down under.
Down under,
Go
Melbourne.
ahead, Pete. Pete, give us an accent.
Yeah, right down under there.
Oh my God, that was the most disrespectful thing you've ever done.
Okay, so shout out to Sid, who on the 28th is turning 29 years old. He's been listening to the pod for over 2 years, never missed an episode, and he's learned a lot, got a ton of perspective, and was planning to come to LA last year and come out and hang, but he said, however, America's pretty wild right now, so I think I'll stick here for a bit.
Yeah, it's a little violent.
I think we're ready to have you over.
Yeah, now's a good time.
But
Now's
he
a
said
good
if you ever decide to come to Australia or New Zealand, I'll be the first person there. Maybe I'll ask you to pick me up from the airport when I land
Where
in
in
Australia.
Australia is he?
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Okay. I've never
Okay.
been to Sydney.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
Okay, what else we got?
What else?
Oh, our buddy Dustin at the Bucks.
Oh, yes.
By the
What
way,
about this for you guys?
What happened?
Dropped
He sent Pete more product or something?
No, I mean, now the respect is being shown. Thank you, Dustin. Instead
Thank
of
you.
giving Slap Dick Pete a bunch of merch, we are just loaded up with Bucks gear. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I need this
Oh
one.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. These are good.
Is that jerseys? Are there jerseys?
Yeah, there's jerseys.
Perfect. Snapback Milwaukee Bucks.
Wow.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm a huge Bucks fan. Since they're the team that supports me, I support them.
Nice.
I'm done with all these other teams.
I love Greece.
I love Greece. Greece is great.
Let's just read this little note. Deanna Drama. I had no idea that Pete's Wisconsin gift box would be so coveted. I wanted to make sure that each of you had some Bucks gear in case your own falls off in the Lakers. Wait, sorry. Oh, sorry. Change that. Sorry. I wanted to make sure you each had.
I can't even
Sorry. Did you see this penmanship?
Big angel
It's-
investor.
This guy reading the term sheets up.
No,
14,000.
Hey,
1
to be
million.
fair, no angel investors reading any term sheets.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
good. You're off to a good start, Pete.
So restart that. So I wanted to make sure that each of you had some Bucks gear of your own to fall back on if the Lakers face an early exit in the upcoming playoffs. Hopefully, I guessed everybody's size is right. Enjoy.
Wow, the
Wow,
baby jerseys.
We got baby jerseys.
Oh my God, I
God,
can't wait to
that's
see those
good.
pics.
Those are good.
Holy cow, that's
You
good.
guys are set.
That's
Giannis to the
amazing.
moon.
That is amazing.
Wow.
Bucks kids gear, you got me. I'm a Bucks fan. Fuck the
Yeah.
Lakers.
Thank you guys. Good job.
What have the Lakers done for me? They're not
Nothing.
doing shit for me.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Milwaukee all the way.
Yep.
Hey, we're
Yeah, you're a
Brewers
big
fans
Milwaukee
too.
guy.
Yeah, I'm all in on Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's true. You've been for years.
Yeah.
What else we got?
We got a shout out from Satosh.0.
Okay.
Nice.
Hey gang, hope you're having a great day today.
I think this is already going to be edited because my guess he's going to go after Rob.
Is he?
Yeah, he
of
is
course.
going after Rob.
Tosh.0.
Did he?
Satosh.0.
But it's because I called him Satosh.0 in the last episode. I thought, damn, man.
No, he mentions that, but then he goes after Rob.
Okay,
also
let's hear it.
tried
We have to cut that.
We can
Well, let's
hear
hear
it,
it.
but
Let's hear it.
let's
We'll
hear
just-
it.
Let's hear it.
It's really long, so if we cut some, there will still be something in there. Hope you're having a great day today. Back today with shout out number 46. As you can see by today's moniker, I decided to go with Drama's little impromptu nickname he gave me in the last episode.
Thank you.
Very creative to say the least. I thought Tosh.0 was an MTV show, but it was actually Comedy Central. I should have known better though. In life, there are only 3 guarantees: death, taxes, and 24/7 reruns of ridiculousness. At this point, I'm almost positive that Rob is some sort of dirt on an executive at MTV. He has an absolute vice grip of that whole network. But get that bread, Rob. It's crazy to think that MTV really lost a 3-1 lead with Lyrical Lemonade when it comes to breaking new music.
Wow.
I would delegate Drama with the task of revitalizing MTV. If he won't bring back Short Story Long, maybe he'll bring back Fantasy Factory. Drama could be the head honcho. Pete can be the guinea pig of the group. If Drama is a man dime, then Pete would be a man nickel. I'm sure Pete would prefer being shot out of a cannon instead of driving an hour to Orange County for vegetarian Taco Bell.
That's probably true.
On a side note, I love how every white dude with some tats is automatically a drama doppelganger. It doesn't matter if you're Jake Paul, Machine Gun Kelly, or Pete. Once Doge hits $1. If you meet the criteria, you can be part of the Fantasy Factory reboot.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for me. Some things are better left off in the past, while others, like Short Story Long, are great for the future.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
You decide drama what you want.
Yeah, I couldn't even really follow the like diss part.
Nah, I think he's just saying the ridiculousness is just on every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Which it is.
feel-
Which just makes Rob very rich.
I mean, that guy's on vacation right now.
I think all he said was, I thought Tosh.0 was a show on MTV. I don't even think that was too hard hitting. I think we're good.
Okay.
It was just the line about Rob
The
has
Comedy
some dirt
Central?
on. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
There you have it.
I do think you should shoot Pete out of a cannon. I
Okay,
think
let's
that'd be
do
really good.
Totally down.
Intro?
I know a guy. Intro?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay, let me out. Okay, good stuff. There it is. Thank you guys. We will be back on Thursday. It's pretty crazy how I lose track of the days. Every day I don't know if it's Tuesday or Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday. Thank you very much.
Peace.